Before we dive into events, revolutions, or freedom struggles, let's pause and ask, how do we even know what we know about history? Who writes history? And why does that matter? Today, we explore the major ways in which modern Indian history has been interpreted from colonial views to feminist voices. Let's begin our journey. Let's begin with the earliest dominant perspective, the colonial approach. Most of the 19th century history about India was written by British officials and scholars. But their goal wasn't just to record events, it was to justify British rule. Writers like James Mill and Vincent Smith often portrayed Indian society as backward, superstitious, and divided, needing the civilizing mission of the British. India was shown as a stagnant land, saved by British order and law. As the freedom movement gained momentum, Indian historians began writing their own version of history. This was the nationalist approach. It aimed to unite Indians across caste, religion, and region through a shared past. Historians like R.C. Majumdar and Tara Chand focused on heroes, reformers, and the spirit of resistance. Though early nationalist accounts were by political leaders like Nehru and Pattabhi Sitaramaya, they were rooted in a desire to inspire and unify. Then came a new lens, the Marxist approach. Think of it as looking at history through class struggle and economic exploitation. It argued that British rule was about profit, and Indian society itself had internal divisions based on class. Historians like R. Desai and Rajni Palmadutt saw the freedom movement as shaped by economic classes, landlords, workers, peasants, elites. But not all Marxists agreed. Sumit Sarkar criticized early Marxist writings for being too rigid. Now imagine if history was told not by kings or elites, but by everyday people, farmers, women, tribals. That's the subaltern approach. Led by Ranajit Guha and others in the 1980s, it argued that history had always ignored the voices of the poor and oppressed. They believed that even the nationalist movement was dominated by elite interests. Real resistance came from the grassroots in tribal revolts, peasant uprisings, and untold stories. Communalist approach. This approach, unfortunately, focuses on religious divisions. It presents history as a constant Hindu-Muslim conflict, feeding into dangerous political ideologies and even communal violence. Cambridge School. The Cambridge historians argued that Indian nationalism wasn't about colonial oppression, but internal rivalries among Indians all trying to gain British favor and power. Liberal and neoliberal. These economists claimed that colonialism didn't benefit even Britain as much as we think. Overseas investment, like railways in India, may have slowed British industrial growth. Feminist historiography. Feminist historians ask, where are the women in our history books? They explore how laws, culture, and colonial systems affected women's lives, from property rights to education to political activism. So, what's the real story of India's past? Truth is, no single approach can capture it all. Together, they form a richer, more honest tapestry of our history. Whether it's a British officer writing from a colonial office, or a tribal woman's resistance passed down in song, every voice matters. That's what history really is. A collection of voices. Subscribe to Rent-Free Sleep for more stories where history comes alive, not just as facts, but as living memory.